Spokane Valley could become a sanctuary city of a different
Councilman
kind.
Caleb Collier says that this
I'm proposing that the city of Spokane Valley issue a proclamation stating that our city is a Second Amendment sanctuary city.
Welcome to the fire.
Today on Church and State, whose nation are they actually securing? Hello, Christian Patriots, and welcome to Church and State, where we drive morality and religion over tolerance and apathy. And I'm your host, Caleb Collier, once again, your favorite far-right shock jock, and the show that talks about politics and religion. Jesus Christ is our referee, so it's always nice and clean. Go to the website, churchandstate.media. Fill out this form for us, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this is so important. It's so vital. Like, I always focus on the fact that I'm going to personally call you. And a lot of people like that. All right? I do. I call every one of you. But you know why you fill out this thing? Yes, you get our newsletter. But you have to understand that I am shadow banned. Okay? The amount of, like, high-level guests I get, the fact that I'm on 5 days a week, I'm on all these different networks, I'm shadow banned. Like, you get on social media and there'll be like a few comments. Like, that doesn't make sense. Unless it's because I'm shadow banned, because I won't censor myself. All right? There is something to that. Yes, am I allowed to be on Facebook and, X and whatever? Sure. I'm actually back on YouTube again. But they're censoring us. And this is why you fill this out, so that if they take me off the air, I can still email you. I can send you the videos. That's why we do it, okay? So please, to all of you who watch this show, fill this out. Even if you know me. Like, fill this out. Even if you have my phone number and you text me a lot, fill it out so that you can be on our mailing list and get the episodes if something ever were to happen. All right, with that, also, check out the most recent episodes. That was a fun one. Brooke Shirley reports the news. We had Brooke Shirley, Nick Shirley's mom, on the episode. So you're going to want to check that one out. It's a fun interview. She was over at Freedom Fest, and we sat down with her. Also, the featured guest list, which continues to grow. We need to add more people to this. There's so many people that are coming on the show. It's incredible. I mean, I just booked Mindy Robinson for next week. For those of you who follow her on social media, she's got a big following. You got Mike Adams the week after that. Like, there's big people coming on the show. You're gonna want to check it out. I just interviewed Spike Cohen. Come on, Chris. Spike Cohen.
Yeah,
he's a libertarian giant. I love that guy. You're going to want to check out all these people. Just click their names. You can listen to the episodes. Also, peruse through the amazing affiliates we have. I'm not supposed to talk about it too much with NRBTV, but one of our affiliates tastes amazing. Can I just say that? Yeah.
Delicious.
Delicious. But check them out and use that promo code Church and State. You'll be helping to support us. A lot of them you'll get a discount on. And donate. Please help us. Help us continue on. I'm never going to stop. It doesn't matter. Like, even if this was just a hobby, I wouldn't stop, because I like talking to you. I like presenting the news. I like presenting the facts as I see it. I got to tell you, one of those episodes, the one that Chris named, Christians shouldn't no-hide their heads in the sand. Like, that got a lot of reactions from you. A lot of you liked that show. A lot of you were commenting and reaching out personally saying, this is why we like you, because you just call a spade a spade. We even had one person, Chris, that's a big fan of you, apparently. You have another fan.
Yeah, I'm growing.
I'm
getting
growing.
big
You're getting popular.
I'm up to 2 now?
She did say, though, that she likes you other than the carrot hot dogs.
Oh, come on.
No.
I mean, never mind the fact that it's a hot dog. It's a delicious barbecued carrot.
It's disgusting, man. Nobody's going to be on your side, dude. I'm sorry to tell you this. Not going to happen, okay?
That's all right. I'm used to it.
I know. But look, NRBTV, Prepper Broadcasting Network, they are so cool. I love the guys at Prepper Broadcasting Network. They share our stuff all the time. They're big fans of the show. So go check out all these great organizations that we're a part of. And then remember, mid-August, you'll be able to tune that dial, AM, FM radio. Come on, national syndication. But we need help. We really do. Like, I mean, I was just telling all of you, even if you know me, like, to go on the newsletter. But all of you, like, I know so many people that watch this show, and I'm not trying to be mean or call you out or anything like that, but when I'm asking for $5 a month, I know people can afford that. And I know that it's not a lot of money, but gosh, would we use it well? Chris, am I frugal? I don't spend a lot of money, do I?
Frugal is our middle name.
It's our middle. Yeah, it is. Like, I'm not over here like dipping into the coffers and being like, I need a new watch and stuff. No, like, I'm very frugal. And Chris will be like, we need this equipment, and I'm like, is there a cheaper version? Like, no, I'm not spending this money on frivolous things, okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm literally using it to expand the network, okay, to expand the show. So please hit the donate button for us.
Can I just say that no one produces a better show on free software?
That's true. That is a great point. I mean, yes, we're using a lot of free software as well. So please hit the donate button for us. Lastly, if you want to get a hold of us, churchandstate1776 at proton.me. All right. Got a few things that I got to comment on. Number one, I want to personally thank those of you who reached out to me after I did the show, and I talked about a life of condemnation. And I had a number of you reach out and they responded. They said, I'm praying for you. Thank you for your vulnerability. I appreciate that very much. I had one friend literally texted me and he said, look, I have a book for you and I'm going to go through it with you. We're going to go through the Gospels and we're going to sit down and we're going to take care of this together. I appreciate that so much. And it really means a lot to me when fans of the show reach out and let me know that, hey, we're praying for you. We appreciate the fact that you are who you are, but we're going to get you past, something that's troubling you. So thank you. Sincerely, like, hats off to you, those of you who reached out and are helping me through this. Also, while I was at Freedom Fest, I ran into some friends from the John Birch Society and the New American Magazine. And I just got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the New American Magazine I use all the time on the show. Like, that is a fantastic source, probably one of the best magazines in the entire industry. And the John Birch Society, hey, they were right. They were right. From the 1950s on, they've been right about pretty much everything. Great organization. And I treasured the time that I worked there. But apparently, when I did that interview with Mark Meckler, you remember this, Chris, when I interviewed Mark Meckler?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I said on the show, like, I don't support this. I've actually come out and spoken against the Convention of States. But I guess I was maybe too nice during the interview. I don't know. That could be it. I mean, I genuinely, when I'm doing a show by myself, I'm a spaz. But when I'm hosting somebody, I'm doing the interview, I really take it that my responsibility is just to interview, not necessarily interject all of my own opinions, but just to be a good interviewer. And I get a lot of compliments on how I interview people. But I was perhaps too nice to Mark Meckler. I don't support the Convention of States. I just want to say that, okay? I think it's an error. I think it's wrong. I think there might be some insidious agendas behind it. I think it would absolutely blow up in our faces, okay? So for the people that are part of the John Birch Society or work for the John Birch Society, I apologize. I really do. If that was the take that you got, that I'm a supporter of the Convention of States, I'm sorry. That's not at all what I was trying to do. And I plan, with talking with them, I plan on bringing somebody on who's an expert on the Convention of States. We're going to talk about the risks associated with this. So look forward to that episode. All right, with that, I found a video. It was actually somebody sent it to me. A fan of the show sent this video over to me. And it's phenomenal. And I want to use this to showcase this as an individual who fought the system. And boy, did he have a victory. Let's go ahead and watch it. Go ahead, Chris.
I went to court today for the flock camera thing. They were going to arrest me. They've been arresting everybody on the initial hearing. I'm the only one that was going to get arrested. They pulled the security guards in and all that. They were all eyeballing me. I did the appearing without appearance. So what you do is you don't have to participate in court at all. You don't have to tell me your name. You don't have to do shit. So what I did is I walked up there with 3 of my friends. They all had a little script, although it was a little ate up. everyone said, she says, Javon Martinez versus Satan. And everyone says, I am here in regards to this matter. My friend says, I am also here in regards to this matter. And then I stand up and said, I am here in regards to this matter as well. And then another friend stood up and said, I am here in regards to this matter as well. So we all walk up there, and she says, my friend's like, well, what's your name? He says, well, I can't give my name because giving my name constitutes testimony against myself. I have a right to not testify against myself, but I am here in regards to this matter. I choose to remain silent because I have a right to remain silent. The next person says, hey, I have a right to remain silent. Anything I say can and will be used against me in the court of law. At this time, I choose to not give my name because that would be testimony against myself. I have a right to not testify against myself, but I am here. And then I said the same thing. And my other friend said the same thing. And then she got pissed. The security guards looking confused, like, what's going on? She said, well, I'm going to put that you didn't show up in my courtroom today. And I was like, go for it. So she went ahead and did that. Me and my friends walked out, and immediately afterwards, we had an affidavit of truth. Let's see, where is it? I have these very affidavits of truth right here, already pre-printed out, ready to rock and roll. Everyone filled one out and submitted them to my case right then and there, saying that I was present. I was there. I showed up as I was ordered to do. I did what you told me to do. I showed up. You didn't call the case. That's on you. And just like that, everything gets dismissed.
This is a true story, one that even made the news. This man is Javon Martinez, and he may have just cracked the code. See, when you show up to court, they need you to consent to their commercial equity jurisdiction. The way they do this is they ask you to state your name on the record, and when you do, they presume you are consenting to represent the constructive trust they have created. By bringing friends with him and simply stating that he was in court on that matter, yet invoking his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination to not state his name, Javon technically appeared in court but did not consent to jurisdiction. Now the court is in a tough spot. They cannot issue a warrant for failure to appear, as his friends have submitted sworn affidavits stating that he was there, and the prosecution would have to prove them wrong under penalty of perjury, which is impossible. They also cannot move forward with the case because then they have not acquired jurisdiction. As of right now, there is still no warrant.
I love it. I absolutely love it. This may, like they said, have cracked the code. This may be the way we move forward. You see, they've gamed the system. We all know that. We're all very, very well aware that they've gamed the system against us, we the people. But with any bureaucracy, there's always, because they keep enacting laws over, and they contradict themselves so often, that there's always a way to use the system for those who have an understanding. And I applaud this gentleman because he figured it out. So get those 3 or 4 friends that will go to court with you and use this tool. Go at it so that you no longer are within their jurisdiction and they have to prove that you didn't show up under perjury of law. It's a beautiful way to go about it. Start using these tools. I also want to mention that Church and State continues to push back against these AI data centers that are going up. And there's a lot of confusion here. And I just want to say, I think I've said this before on a show, but data centers are nothing new. They exist, okay? And they're all over this country. And that's not necessarily what we're opposed to. The whole reason why I'm on this program is because of data centers. I'm talking about the new one, the new AI data centers, which are specifically being built to spy on you and I, we the people. And so that's what the opposition is for, okay? For me specifically, yes, am I concerned about the environmental issues? I am. Call me a liberal if you want, but I do believe we should be good stewards. But my focus mostly is on the privacy issues here. And so we do have one, July 18th, from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m., Anti-AI Data Center National Day of Protest. This is a national protest. These are happening all over the country. This one just happens to be in Spokane, well, Coeur d'Alene, actually. And you can see the address, 420 East Front Avenue, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Show up. There's more of these coming. I know there's another one being planned for August 1st as well. We gotta have our messaging, all right? That we do not consent to these data centers being built all over the country, that we're going to protest, and that we're going to replace representatives, whether it's at the city council level or all the way up to our Congress. We're going to replace people. This is a very important issue that Americans are waking up to. Look, prior to this, it was COVID, okay? There was a lot of issues with COVID, and the people banded together. And I really, truly believe that this is the next big agenda that we must address as patriots, as people who love liberty, is we refuse to allow our government, or maybe even foreign governments, that's going to come later, to be spying on us. right? Because can you imagine if I got back into politics?
Ooh.
It'd be fun, huh? I'd be like wearing these shirts, like obey, like boom, showing up at the city council or whatever, and just being like, yeah, no, we're not putting flock cameras in. Yeah, the data center, no, that's not going anywhere in this area. Like, you think I'd be loved or hated?
Yes.
Yes. I think that's well put, Chris. Most certainly. All right, with that, let's move into something else that should upset the citizens of these great states. And what I'm talking about is ignoring national security. This is coming from the New American. GOP senators unanimously back U.S.-Israel military merger. What happened to foreign entanglements with none? What happened to that? They used to be a staple of this beautiful country. Free trade with all, foreign entanglements with none. We used to do that. But it's gotten progressively worse, hasn't it? And this is all by design. They understand, and with every issue, not just this one, that they can't just, boom, drop it on the citizenry, right? Because there'll be rebellion. There'll be protests. But over a period of time, through incremental movements, and I talk about I've given so many speeches on incremental movements. What do? They get you used to NATO. They get you used to the United Nations. Do you think the League of Nations under Woodrow Wilson was a failure? A lot of people do. A lot of conservatives will say that. It wasn't a failure. It did exactly what it was intended to do. It got the ball rolling. And one more war later, what did we get? We got the United Nations. And now we have all these foreign entanglements. Now we get involved in proxy wars. Why? Because one of our allies got attacked. We used to be a country that, hey, you're getting attacked. That we'll help you financially, right? We'll support your way economically. We'll sell to you and not your enemy. But we're not going to get engaged in this war. That used to be our status, but not anymore. And now we're going to literally, well, they tried anyway. They tried a military merger with Israel. And once again, why is it always Israel? If Israel, like, if I was a PR guy, okay, and I work for the nation of Israel, I'd be like, here's an idea. Just go with me on this one, okay? Here's an idea. Stop being the bad guy. Like, you want people to change their views on you? Stop always being in the news, doing things that make people hate you. It's just ridiculous. Why do you think that there's such a massive movement in the United States to get away from Israel? Because of stuff like this. And what's really, really frustrating to me, what really makes me mad, is these so-called Republicans. Not a one in the Senate, not a single one voted against this thing. You're going to merge the military, the United States military, with a foreign entity. And not a single Republican, many of them who call themselves conservatives, took issue with that? Saw that as an expansion of big government, something that they're supposed to be opposed to? Even Rand Paul, who I've defended before on this show. I'm done with that. Chris, I am with Dr. Jane Ruby. Yeah, she calls it out. I'm not trying to be like super black-pilled over here, right? But Rand Paul, who even as a libertarian, there was Ron Paul, there was Rand Paul, it was kind of like that. It was like Coke versus Diet Coke. Nobody actually likes Diet Coke. What, you like Diet Coke?
No, I'm not a.
Okay, you're not a Coke drinker.
Fan of soda pop.
You don't like soda, yeah. But anyway, Rand Paul, who typically doesn't vote this direction, he voted for this. And I think every single senator should be called out for this. And I'm going to say something else. It may make the audience angry. But I thank God that the Democrats voted this down. Ooh, now he's thinking Democrats? I know. Broken clock, right? Every once in a while they get something right. What, you look like you want to say something, Chris.
I'm just flabbergasted over here.
You don't like that I thank the Democrats for voting this thing down?
So are you woke now?
No, I'm the exact opposite. I'm so awake that I call out the Uniparty. And look, I'm not giving excuses to the Democrats. You have people like Nick Fuentes who's like, yeah, we're going to vote for the Democrats now in 2026 and 2028. No, look, they were all getting AIPAC money. All right? Now, what did I just say? About moving the ball forward. Right? This is all smoke and mirrors. This is theater. This thing's going to pass. It will pass. It'll come back in the not too distant future. And it'll pass and we'll merge. But for right now, we got theater. Right? We got theater because in 2026, the midterms are coming up. What do we want to see happen? And there's a lot of Republicans at risk. And the area that I live in, the congressional seat, it's up for election. And this guy that I don't really like, I don't really care for, that's our current congressman, he's thinking he's going to write it because this is a Republican area. Man, I hope you do sit on your hands, actually. I really do. I hope somebody better can get in. There's a lot of independents that are running for this seat. Maybe it's time to go that route. Now, what would this bill actually do? The U.S.-Israeli merger would occur pursuant to Section 1217, the United States-Israel Framework for Upgraded Technologies, Unified Research, and Enhanced Security Futures Act of 2026. And here we go. The U.S. Secretary of Defense will join the Israeli counterparts to build the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative, which will expand and accelerate bilateral defense technology research, development, testing, evaluation, coordination, and industrial cooperation by doing the following. And here's the following, A through F. A, identifying joint developed or Israeli origin technologies with operational utility for integration into United States systems and programs of record. That sounds safe. B, conducting collaborative research initiatives involving government, private sector, and academic institutions in the United States and Israel in a manner that protects sensitive technology and information and the national security interests of the United States and Israel. Oh, I just can't wait. You all just saw, did you see this? I hope you saw this. The iPhone and the Samsung phones, the iPhone even worse, there are countries that are banning the iPhone outright. Why? Because there's Israeli spy tech that is in it. And because it's a closed system, thanks Apple, you can't remove it. The Samsung is at least an open source system, and they two of their phones, it was found Israeli spy technology in it. They're working to remove it. But people can check. They can look at it because it's open source. We really want to merge? Not just, did you hear that? Government, private sector, and academic institutions. So fascism is what you're going for here. Brilliant. Beautiful. We already saw. I mean, we talked about this. I was just talking about the John Birch Society. We talked about the fact that there was a communist takeover within the government, within the private sector, most certainly within academia. And now we're going to go this route? Oh, be still my beating heart. I'm so thrilled. C, facilitating the transition of technologies from research and development into procurement and acquisition pathways. Oh, so moving beyond research, let's actually get the ball rolling on this one. Wonderful. D, establishing frameworks for joint ventures, licensing agreements, and United States-based co-production or manufacturing partnerships with Israeli industry. E, coordinating with relevant Department of Defense components. And F, promoting the joint training exercises and information sharing mechanisms to enhance operational readiness to deploy jointly developed technologies. Are you ready for war? I mean, even if you're just super pro-Israel, right? Even if you're in that camp, you're in that dispensational camp that, hey, we got to support God's chosen people. Can you at least be honest and admit that Israel as a nation has been operating rather recklessly? Can you at least see that in the United States with the whole Iran affair, that we had some peace treaties? Yeah, there wasn't a lot to hang your hat on there, right? And they crumbled almost immediately. And during this whole time period, what did we see? Right, like Iran and the United States, okay, ceasefire. And then Israel would be like, oh yeah, hold my beer, watch this. I'm going to bomb Lebanon. And then Iran would say, okay, never mind. Can you at least admit that they've been operating recklessly? And if so, do you see this as a negative, merging our military, the private sector, academia, with the nation of Israel? It's a legitimate question for the audience. If you really do, if you say this in one breath and then the next, another thing, right? If you were over here saying America first, we want America first, we want to make America great again. And at the same point, you're saying we got to support Israel. They're our greatest ally. Do you see how those two thoughts don't necessarily mesh very well? You see that the United States, with all the problems that we have to deal with, you know, when you hear the rhetoric of this is the greatest country in the world, it's the greatest country that's ever existed, and then you look around and you see what's going on with the economy, the surveillance state, these endless wars, the homeless situation, how they're treating our veterans, the border crisis, all that stuff, right? And many more that I haven't even mentioned. And you're like, I'm America first. But we got to send all this money. We got to get engaged in wars and defend Israel at all costs. You see how that doesn't really mix? I truly do want to return back to the policies of foreign entanglements with none. I don't want a supposedly conservative Republican, right, our leadership over there, to be voting this direction. Because I really, truly believe that some of the problems that we have and some of the reasons why so many of these countries don't necessarily like us is because we're operating in an empire state of mind. And empires are not loved by the world. It's the same equivalent. I talk about it a lot. The bully on the playground. Do you like the bully on the playground? Do you fear him? Do you applaud when some kid finally has it up to here and takes a swing at him and gives that bully a bloody nose? I don't want to operate as a country like the bully on the playground. I love this country far too much for that, to simply sit back and say, hey, these Republicans, they're the good guys. Now, I'm not done yet. I got a lot more to cover. This is Caleb Collier with Church and State. Are you tired of your device spying on you? Ladies and gentlemen, we live in 1984. Your phones, your tablets, your smart televisions, they all are spying on you. And this is why I heavily endorse Mark37.com. This is everything you need for your digital privacy. Phones, tablets, laptops, all of them are ghost protocoled. So that means that you are in charge of your own data. Just go to churchandstate.media, scroll over to shop, and hit mark37.com for all of your privacy needs. Make sure to use that promo code Church and State. And we are back, and thank you for staying with us. You're over at churchandstate.media. And I got to talk about one of our great affiliates. And I've been drinking one of our great affiliates the whole show. Look at that mug. That's a great mug. The Church and State mug. Born for a Storm right on the back of it. Oh, I love this coffee cup. But even more than the coffee cup, I love the coffee that's in it. I love Hunter's Blend coffee. This is a new one, too. 250 years. We got the Liberty Roast. Liberty Roast. It's a medium blend. Typically, I want the dark blend. But Chris and I sampled this. We just got this sent over to us. This is a pretty good coffee. Chris, you enjoying this? The medium roast, Liberty Roast?
Oh, delicious.
It really is quite good. All right. I love coffee. Chris really loves coffee. Chris would probably, if he could, he'd probably be drinking coffee while having a caffeine patch on him.
That might be going a little far.
I don't think so for you. I really don't. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you... This is my belief. This is my personal belief. You tell me if I'm wrong here, Chris. You know how you can unscrew the shower cap?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a theory that you unscrew the shower cap, right, in your home, and you pack it full of coffee, and then you screw it back on, and when you go to take a hot shower, you're being bathed in coffee.
I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
It probably your pores would open up. You could soak it in coffee. It might actually work, Chris. Get back to me if you're not doing it already. Check out Hunter's Blend Coffee. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a great coffee company. I love it. Chris loves it. They have delicious coffee, and it's made right here in America by a Christian and by a patriot. Hunter's Blend Coffee. Use that promo code Church and State, and of course, you'll help support us. And man, you'll be drinking great coffee. Yes,
people might want some of those cups. We should think about.
I know. Cups. We need merch. We do.
We need some merch.
We do need some merch. I'm actually working on it. I found a place that can design these shirts for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, hit the donate button for us. Get on that donate button and keep us alive and having conversations that matter. It's so important. So please hit the donate button for us. I'm telling you, there's somebody here. There's somebody watching that's like, $5 is not a lot. Please make it so. Oh, I don't have my button. Jean-Luc Picard, make it so. I forgot about the button. Anyway.
You told me you weren't going to use that.
I had a guest lined up, Chris, and they canceled. So now they get me in all my caffeinated glory. All right. With that, I got to address this. I'm a little late to it, and you'll have to pardon me. All right. I was traveling. I was at Freedom Fest and at the Red Pill Expo, 2-for-1. And then I had all these guests lined up, so I didn't get an opportunity to do a show just by myself. But I want to talk about Lindsey Graham. Because I think Lindsey Graham is actually a canary in the coal mine for us. For those of you who view themselves as conservative or Republican, I don't really need to say libertarian or constitutionalist, because both those groups, they didn't like this guy. But to the audience that identifies as either a Republican or conservative or both, Lindsey Graham was a canary in the coal mine for us. And what do I mean by that? Now, obviously, he died, okay? And there is some interesting conspiracy theories surrounding that, right? He died of a heart attack, and there was an ambulance sent to his home in D.C. But just prior to that, he had been visiting Ukraine, where what was he doing? Advocating for war. Because did you ever see a war that Lindsey Graham didn't support? You ever notice that?
I've drawn a blank on that one.
This guy loved war. Like, he wasn't married, so I think his greatest love was war. I'm pretty sure nowadays in Vegas you can marry almost anything. I think Lindsey Graham would have married war. Okay, and I'm not speaking ill of the dead. Look, this is who he was. Okay, but he was visiting this weapons facility, this drones facility with Zelensky. He was also staying at a NATO hotel. Both of those were hit by precision missiles by Russia. So some people are claiming that perhaps he was killed there, and the U.S. doesn't want an international incident, and so they're covering it up with a heart attack. There's also the Iranians are claiming that they might have killed him. So there's stuff to be said there, and to be quite honest, the CIA on record developed a heart attack gun. You don't think some of our enemies have that? I mean, Russia, who I'm no fan of, I don't support, but I mean, Russia's pretty good at poisoning people. You ever notice that, Chris? Russia, they seem to traffic in a lot of poisons, and anybody who's an enemy of their state seems to get poisoned.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, me too. Weird. So look, regardless of how it happened, and I'm sure we can investigate more, and more people will be looking at this, he's dead. And you need to listen to the talking heads. And I did. I listened to Sean Hannity, and I listened to Mark Levin, and I listened to Clay and Buck, and Glenn Beck, and all of them. And what did I hear? How great this man was. How amazing. What a friend he was to all of them. What a friend he was to Donald Trump. What he was, how much he sacrificed for this country. How much he sacrificed for the nation of Israel. Said he was always with Israel. This guy was no friend to this nation. This guy was not a conservative. This guy was corrupt. And in fact, and let me head off Chris right off the bat, allegedly, Chris loves it when I say the word allegedly.
Music to my ears.
I know. Allegedly, a homosexual. Allegedly, even far worse, things surrounding children. Okay, allegedly, a number of call men came forward with horrific stories about what this guy was into. Once again, allegedly. I'm getting tired of this word, Christopher.
It's worth it, buddy.
I know. It's saving us pain in the future. But this is what allegedly this guy was a part of. I didn't support this man. Hey, and as a Christian, it's hard. Right? As a Christian, but also as a patriot, this is difficult because I don't want to celebrate death. I don't want to celebrate the death of anyone. My hope as a Christian would have been that Lindsey Graham could have been made low, because that's what would have been needed, and that he could have found salvation in Christ, even with all the terrible things that he did. It's never too late. Every single person that still breathes air on this earth, it's never too late for you. On your deathbed, you can find salvation. The thief on the cross is the best example of that. That would have been my hope. I don't think that happened. I wasn't there. I don't know, but I'm just guessing that didn't occur. But then as a patriot, I'm like, man, we finally got rid of one of the worst representatives we had in this country. It's a sticky situation. I don't mourn the passing of this man. I actually believe that this country is going to be better off without him there. And I got to say this as well. I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but they're going to put his sister in. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to ask you if you thought she'd be better.
Probably. I mean, it's hard to get much worse. But this isn't a dynasty. Hey, this isn't how we operate as a country. We don't have a representative and they pass on and then it's like, we'll give it to the family. What an elitist mentality to have on that one. No, you pick the best person for the job, the person who's going to represent the interests of the people of South Carolina. We don't just give it to the sister. And people are celebrating this. And you can already see people jockeying for it, right? Nancy Mace, who's been a little bit of a thorn in the side of Donald Trump. She came out and she was like, this is the greatest idea ever. This is perfect. Put her in the position. Why? Because she's going to run for that position. Because this is a temporary solution for them. Put her in to fulfill the slot. There'll be a special election. And now Nancy Mace is trying to get it. But Chris is right there. Chris has got the, is that the sister right there? Oh, almost looks like a painting.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. I was just, we're sure it's not Lindsey in drag, right?
Look, Chris, we're a conspiracy theory show, but we're not that much of a conspiracy theory show.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I think South Carolinians should get angry about this. Okay, number one, you should probably be angry about the fact that Lindsey Graham represented you for so many years. But now to just, as an elite, just put in whoever you want, this man's sister? How about you vote? How about you vote for the best person for the job? I really think South Carolina has an opportunity, and you know I love your state. Truly, I do. But I think you have an opportunity here to get a good representative. And I'm telling you, I'm watching Mark Lynch. Come on, Mark Lynch. You know I love you. I've had you on the show. You're a friend I would consider. You lost. But now we have a special election. Now we don't have somebody in there with all this name recognition, all this money behind them. Their coffers aren't full. Mark, this is your opportunity. All right, last story that I want to cover. The Anti-Federalists. I love these guys, right? These are some of the greatest heroes of our country. People like George Mason, Patrick Henry. Who doesn't love Patrick Henry? Give me liberty or give me death. But there were so many others as well. And these Anti-Federalists, well, they predicted an empire and an imperial presidency, and they were right. It's another story coming from the New American. This is an article written by Ilana Mercer, and I applaud her publication here. You see, when we had the Federal Convention, you recognize the fact that the states, the representatives of the states, were only sent in to fix the Articles of Confederation. That was their whole responsibility. That was their job. And speaking of the Convention of States, this is one of the reasons why maybe we should not pull the trigger on that thing. Because the originalists, right, the people that we look up to, they were charged with one thing: fix the Articles of Confederation. There's a few issues that needed to be ironed out. And instead, they scrapped it. They scrapped the whole thing and they said, nope, we're going to write a whole new one. And, you know, a lot of it's good. But the Anti-Federalists, they had a lens on. They knew people. They knew humanity. And they knew that we are fallen. And when given a little bit of power, just a little bit, what's the natural inclination for humans? Well, we run with that, don't we? Oh, we get all excited. Power, oh, it tastes good. That feels real good. I can give people orders and they have to follow me. Maybe we should take that a step further. And that's exactly what happened. So they scrapped this thing, and then they had the time, because they'd been working on it. They had the time to write the Federalist Papers, and they were eloquent, and they got the best minds. John Jay and James Madison writing in the Federalist Papers, Alexander Hamilton, who made my book, by the way. They wrote all this, why we should push this agenda of a more powerful federal government. And the Anti-Federalists, they didn't have a lot of time. Now, they wrote the Anti-Federalist paper. It's a lot smaller than the Federalist Papers. But they were just kind of racing to try to defeat this thing. Patrick Henry, he encouraged Virginia to not attend, to not be a part of this. Rhode Island didn't. But they saw a lot of problems in what was being written. They gave us the Bill of Rights to ensure that the government couldn't violate right after right after right. And they noticed a few things. They noticed things like the Commerce Clause. You know the Commerce Clause. It comes into play all the time. What does the Commerce Clause give us? Well, it gives us tyranny. What did it give the federal government? The General Welfare Clause in Article 1, it authorized Congress to do anything which, in their judgment, will tend to provide for the general welfare. And this amounts to the same thing as general and unlimited power of legislation in all cases. You hear it come out over and over and over again. We've got to promote the general welfare for the people. It's never for the people, it's for the government. But they use this. And the Anti-Federalists identified it immediately as an area of concern. And we didn't listen. We didn't listen as a country. Benjamin Franklin, when he said to the woman, a republic, if you can keep it, means that we should have examined this immediately and looked to the tyranny of the future and said, hey, we like what you've given us. But this one, we need to strike that. We need to get that off the books. They also talked about, the Anti-Federalists argued that the presidency would become imperial. They argued that the federal judicial system would take over the smaller courts. And what has happened? Both have happened. The judicial system It wasn't supposed to be this top to bottom. It was supposed to be the states who were over the federal government. It was supposed to be the state judicial system that could examine the law, the people being able to examine the law and to see if it was just. Instead of just looking to these 9 Supreme Court justices and whatever they say is the law of the land, regardless if it violates human rights. Think abortion, think Roe v. Wade. If we would have had an anti-federalist system, it would not have mattered what the federal government would have said. The state of Tennessee or South Carolina or Idaho could have said, no, the government doesn't have the right to kill the unborn. And when it comes to the imperial presidency, I'm not just throwing bombs at Donald Trump here. It's every single president we've had going back certainly decades, probably a century. In fact, yeah, I would argue actually about a century that we've had these. And even beyond that, we had people like Lincoln, who a lot of people love, who was operating in a lot of ways like a tyrant. Because power corrupts, doesn't it? You know it does. Look, if we really want to fix this country, we got to get educated, number one. And far too few of you even read the Constitution and the Declaration of the Bill of Rights. So number one, start there. But number two, pick up a copy of the Anti-Federalist Papers. You still can. You still can. Start operating under the premise of the 9th and 10th Amendments. Take the power back to the states. Stop with these states that are beholden to the purse strings of the federal government. They're operating under a fiat currency, giving us back the money that they already stole from us, whether through taxes or inflation. Taking that money back and what? Building roads? Enacting greater levels of bureaucracy to harass and eat out the substance of our people? This country, I truly do believe, can be fixed. But if you want to fix it, you got to take the power back. You got to be informed. You got to be educated. And you got to stop falling for this mess of the federal government. You got to stop looking to a candidate running for president or Congress who says, I'm going to fix it. You got to look for the buzzwords of government creating jobs, government involving themselves in the economy. Let the free market reign. You got to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, when we get big government, when big government just gets involved in every aspect of our life, does it make that life better or worse? Church and State is brought to you in part by Colonial Life Spokane Independent Agents, Finders Insurance, and Mark37.com. I'm Caleb Collier. I was born for a storm.
Welcome to the fire.
Hey, this is Caleb Collier with Church and State, and I want to tell you about methylene blue. For a long time now, you've seen the Maha people using methylene blue. I thought I'd give it a try. You know what? It helped me considerably, not only with mental clarity, but also with insomnia. Now, you got to be careful with methylene blue because the market is filled with counterfeit products. But Best 365 Labs is the greatest methylene blue on the market. I'm telling you, take this stuff, enjoy the benefits, and it'll also have a little bit of fun when going to the bathroom. I need you to go to best365labs.com and use that promo code Church and State. You're going to get a discount. You'll also be helping to support Church and State and our pursuit of truth. Hey, this is Caleb Collier with the Church and State podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to go to Galileo.com. You need to stay connected no matter what comes our way. Whether it's government intrusion or a meteor falling from the sky, Galileo has you connected. As a Marine veteran, I can tell you that communications is essential. Galileo has you connected. Whether it's worldwide coverage, uncensored content, or real-time alerts, Galileo is going to make sure that you're connected with your friends, family, and neighbors. Just head on over to churchandstate.media, scroll over to shop and hit Galileo.com. Make sure to ask them for a free bibby stick. And make sure to use that promo code Church and State. Hey, this is Caleb Collier with Church and State. I'm here to tell you about Hunter's Blend Coffee. I got to tell you, I absolutely love this stuff. I'm all about the dark roast. Hunter's Blend Coffee, black powder. Doesn't that just sound like deliciousness and rebellion? I got to tell you, in America, we don't drink tea. No, we drink coffee. It's the food of the gods, and I endorse and support Hunter's Blend Coffee. I got to tell you. Tastes like freedom. So I need you to go over to churchandstate.media, scroll to Hunter's Blend Coffee, and use the promo code Church and State to help support us. And when you go to huntersblendcoffee.com, not only will you be getting a great cup of coffee, but you also, if you use the promo code Church and State, be supporting Church and State and our dogged pursuit of truth.